right, Frontline. So, as I stated before, today I am going to work on my Willys MB, my 42, very early script Willys MB. After production, it's a March 10th, 1942, but I'm at a point where I want to drive it around and shake the bugs out of the drivetrain. So what I am going to work on today is getting the pedals, the pedal shaft, the clutch hooked up, all the linkages, but primarily I'm going to work on the pedals today. So going through my pile of parts, I've just been verifying I have what I need. I bought a nice NOS pack of assorted size cotter pins, made sure I had the cotter pins I needed for the pedal shaft that goes through the frame. I dug out the woodruff key, but this is actually, I'm not sure what this woodruff key goes to. I thought it was for this one, but it is just way too big. So I'm going to either head to Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight sells a pack of woodruff keys, all assorted sizes for, I think it's about 20 bucks. Or I have an Ace Hardware, which I go in all the time, and they probably have them too. So I'm just going to take this along with my lever, my pedal lever, and I'm just going to match it up, get me a woodruff key before I progress any farther with that. So one thing I did is I went ahead and cleaned up the pedals as far as the shafts go. I do need to get another Zerg fitting, and I didn't have one that's big enough, so I got to go to Ace Hardware anyway. I went ahead and dug through my bolts, and I found the correct bolt. This is actually a 1/4-inch coarse thread bolt that goes in the head of these pedals, or these shafts where the pedals attach. So I went ahead and fitted them. I have a box. I separate all my bolts out. So I pulled out a couple EC bolts that were correct, and I've cleaned them up. I'm actually probably going to shoot another coat of paint on those levers before I put them on. And then let me grab it real quick. And this is the throttle lever. They are slightly different. Okay. This is the brake lever. This is the clutch, I'm sorry. And this little shaft that sticks out, that is where the plunger for the master cylinder fits. So this one's a little rough. It has a few chips, but it is totally functional. So I am going to use it. I like to reuse every part I can. This is here for the clutch. So you can see there's a little slot, if you look closely, a little slot on the top, and that is where the woodruff key locks it to the shaft. Okay, so I gotta go get another woodruff key, but again, I've fitted the bolts for the head. These are 1/4-inch coarse threads, and then I dug out a bolt for the bottom here where it's going to clamp on the shaft after I have it slid on with the woodruff key. So basically I'm going to have to hit Ace Hardware, get a few parts to finish this, but I took a break from all the remodeling. I decided I was going to work on the Jeep. So before I go a little farther, I want to give a little shout out to my buddy Sean. John Browning is his code name for Facebook. You'll see him on there. They suffered a lot of damage across the bay from the hurricane. Had about a 6-foot storm surge, basically drowned his military vehicles. He was forced to sell his CCKW and weapons carrier to someone who could clean them up and repair them. He did keep his Jeep, which basically took it to a friend in Georgia, and they flushed everything that can flush, but it's running again. But he basically came over the other day and gave me a bunch of parts, extra parts he had, and I just want to give him a shout out and I thank him. A couple really nice Willys safety strap eye bolts, which I'm going to use for my current Willys. He was having a little bit of electrical system issue, and a while back I gave him one of my MV spares, reproduction light switch, and he has purchased another one for me and replaced it. So just want to give MV Spares a shout out. This is very, very impressive. I have an original over here. I'll show you real quick. I can't find it at the moment. So, but this is cast, very sturdy. I don't feel any vibration in there. I mean, this is sturdy. If you look at the connectors, they are riveted copper, heavy duty plated connectors. I mean, this is really high quality. And it's got all the markings on the side for wiring. You can see them where all your wires go. And so this will go on my Willys MB and stout. And I want to thank Sean for replacing that. He also gave me a box of parts here that of assorted things he wasn't using. A whole bunch of canvas to seat strap washers with flat-headed screws, which are awesome because you never have enough of those. This here is an installation kit for it with the correct drill bit and tap. And he gave me some grill welting, which I will probably use on my 42. Now this isn't correct for my slat grill. I believe, I can't remember who. There's somebody on the front line that is making some period correct, only person I know of, that's making period correct welting for the slats with the double folded canvas and the basically rope welting on either it's wrapped around the rope welting. I'll have to look and see again who that is because I need to order a set. But anyway, thanks to Sean, aka John Browning, for all the nice parts and free parts. I appreciate that. I will definitely put them to use. He's going to be over in January. We're going to tear apart his transmission and rebuild it because his synchro is bad and, well, it needs a rebuild. So we'll be shooting some video on that. Maybe we'll get Boss Man to come down and spend the weekend with us and get it knocked out. He'll probably do 2 weekends. One will be a tear down, and then inspect all the parts and make a list of what we need. I'll get Sean to order what he needs, and then when it comes in, we'll do a build up, and we'll basically have Sean build it. We'll just talk him through it and everything, and it'll be fun. So that's coming up. Then today, like I said, I'm working on the pedals. So one thing I want to work on, I'm going to point out here, is I have these are my pedals for my Willys MB. They got the little bumps all over them. You can see they're as typical for a 75-year-old set of pedals. They were kind of wore down. So what I'm going to do is I took my welder and I cranked the temperature up really high and slowed down the wire feed so I can make me basically weld some bumps. You can see where I've put the shiny marker so that I can see where I'm welding, and then I'm going to clean it up, and we're going to see how it turns out. But I like to reuse original parts whenever I can, even if they require a little more time to repair. So that will be the plan today. So stay tuned. All right, did the welding. I just did about 3 seconds on each nub on a high heat with a low wire feed, It looks pretty good, so now time to clean it up. All right, so here's my pedals. Did a little bit of spot weld treatment. It's not perfect, but you know, the 3-foot and 5-foot rule, it's pretty good. I've added spot welds on there, increased my grip surface, and I've primed and painted them. So these are the original pedals. I've used the original pedals, which I'm happy for. So, you know, it's, in my opinion, it's better to use original stuff, even if it doesn't look perfect, because again, these are old vehicles, and you know, if we're just going to replace everything with repro stuff, then you might as well just buy a repro kit from MD1. So anyway, I'm pretty pleased with the pedals and how that's gone together. I'm getting ready to install my steering box and some other ancillary items here. Get ready to road test shortly when my other parts